Hi there, my name is Jack, but everyone calls me JJ. Let me take you on a journey through the twists and turns of my life, where a strong stranger turned friend played a pivotal role. Please like and subscribe to this channel. But before we get to how I was saved from bullies in school by a total stranger, let me share a bit about my family's backstory. It all started with my parents, Sarah and David. They met in college, two young souls drawn together by their shared love for adventure and spontaneity. Their romance blossomed amidst late-night study sessions and impromptu road trips. And soon enough, they tied the knot and started a family. For a while, life was good. Dad worked hard as an architect, while Mom poured her heart and soul into our family and her beloved fish shop. But as time went on, cracks began to appear in their once solid relationship. Dad grew distant, consumed by his work and restless spirit, while Mom struggled to bridge the growing divide. Then one day, everything changed. Dad confessed that he had fallen out of love with Mom and had found solace in the arms of another woman. It was like a bombshell had been dropped on our family, shattering the illusion of our happy home. Heartbroken and betrayed, Mom was left to pick up the pieces while Dad pursued his newfound happiness elsewhere. The pain of their separation weighed heavily on me, casting a shadow over my own struggles with bullies at school and Mom's valiant efforts to keep our family afloat. As the bullies continued their relentless torment in school, their mocking laughter echoed through the hallways, piercing through the fragile armor of my self-esteem. Their favorite target? The absence of my father during crucial moments of my academic journey. Each time there was a school presentation or a talent show, I could feel the weight of their taunts bearing down on me as I glanced towards the empty seat where my father should have been. Despite my mother's tireless efforts to provide for our family, her absence from my school events was a constant source of pain. Mom worked multiple jobs, sacrificing her own time and energy to ensure that we had food on the table and a roof over our heads. But her demanding schedule often meant that she couldn't make it to my school activities, leaving me to face those significant moments alone. One particular memory stands out vividly in my mind, haunting me with its stark reminder of loneliness. It was the day I won an award for the best student in school. As I stood on stage, basking in the glow of achievement, I couldn't shake the emptiness in my heart as I scanned the audience for the familiar faces of my parents. Mom was supposed to be there, but she had missed her bus after a long day of work. Living far from my school meant that hiring a taxi was out of the question, leaving me to accept my award without the support of both parents. It was a moment of triumph marred by the bitter sting of abandonment. The following day, I dragged myself back to school, hoping against hope that the usual bullies wouldn't pounce on me again. As I stepped into the classroom, it felt emptier than usual, except for one figure lurking in the shadows. James, the toughest bully in our school. My heart sank as I realized I was alone with him. James wasted no time in unleashing his venomous words, threatening me with all sorts of harm if I even thought about leaving. Fear gripped me, but I knew I had to face him. Just as James was about to launch into his tirade, a miracle happened. Out of nowhere, a stranger appeared, tall and strong, and intervened on my behalf. With one firm push, he sent James crashing to the ground. I watched in disbelief as this stranger stood over James, his voice firm and commanding, ordering him to stop his bullying ways. James, who was usually brimming with confidence, cowered in the face of this unexpected challenge. He scrambled to his feet and fled the scene, leaving me and the stranger alone in the classroom. Relief washed over me like a warm blanket as I realized I had been saved from another showdown with James. Turning to thank my rescuer, I saw kindness and compassion in his eyes. He introduced himself as Mark, explaining that he was at the school to visit his cousin. In that moment, Mark became more than just a stranger. He became a friend. We talked for hours, sharing stories and laughter. Mark's presence filled me with a sense of hope and belonging that I hadn't felt in a long time. As we parted ways at the end of the day, I knew that my life would never be the same again. With Mark by my side, I felt like I could conquer any challenge that came my way, and as we walked out of the school together, I knew that this was the beginning of a beautiful friendship that would last a lifetime. As Mark and I grew closer as friends, he became more like family to me. One sunny afternoon, Mark suggested coming over to my house. Eager to spend time together, I welcomed him with open arms, introducing him to my mom with a warm smile. Despite the simplicity of our surroundings, we found joy in each other's company, sharing stories, laughter, and homemade snacks. However, as Mark bid us farewell, I noticed a flicker of sadness in my mum's eyes, like a distant storm cloud on the horizon. Concerned, I asked her what troubled her, and she hesitated before expressing her thoughts. Mark looks so vibrant and healthy, unlike us, she confessed, her voice tinged with a hint of longing. In that moment, I realized the weight of her burden, the sacrifices she made to provide for our family, often neglecting her own well-being. With a reassuring embrace, I reminded her of her resilience, her unwavering strength that held our household together like the sturdy beams of a ship. As the days turned into weeks and the seasons danced their eternal waltz, Mark extended an invitation that filled me with excitement and anticipation. His father was celebrating his birthday, and we were invited to join the festivities. Bursting with excitement, I shared the news with my mum, only to be met with hesitation once again. "I don't have anything suitable to wear," she lamented, her words tinged with a hint of self-doubt. Determined to make this day special for her, I reached out to Mark, explaining our predicament. True to his generous nature, he arranged for his father to send us some money, ensuring that we could dress for the occasion. With a newfound sense of purpose, my mum and I embarked on a shopping adventure, browsing through racks of clothes with eager anticipation. With each garment we tried on, I saw a glimmer of joy return to her eyes like a forgotten melody resurfacing from the depths of memory. Finally, the day of the party arrived, and we made our way to Mark's house, our hearts brimming with excitement. As we stepped through the threshold, we were greeted by a flurry of activity, the air alive with laughter and music. My mum looked radiant in her new attire, a vision of elegance and grace that turned heads wherever she went. For a moment, we were transported to a world of opulence and splendor, a fleeting glimpse of the life we had only dreamed of. As the evening unfolded, Mark introduced us to his father, a man of quiet dignity and warmth. However, when my mum asked about Mum, his wife, he shared the sad tale of his late wife's tragic accident. It was a terrible motor crash that took her life suddenly. His words carried the weight of grief as he described the loss they endured. Despite the sorrow, he expressed a resilient spirit, acknowledging that while they never fully recover from such pain, they find strength in cherished memories and the support of loved ones. After Mark's father shared the story of his late wife's tragic accident, he turned to my mum with a sympathetic gaze. He gently inquired about my father, prompting my mum to bravely recount the painful tale of their separation. As she spoke, I could see the sadness in his eyes, and he listened intently, understanding the hardships she had endured. With compassion, he offered words of support and encouragement, expressing his admiration for her strength. Their conversation deepened, and they exchanged contact information, laying the foundation for a newfound friendship. Over time, their bond blossomed, and they began spending more time together. Mark's father, moved by my mum's resilience and determination, decided to take a bold step. He mustered the courage to propose to my mum, offering her a chance at a new beginning. When they announced their engagement, Mark and I were overjoyed. Finally, we would become one big happy family. Plans for the wedding were made, and amidst the excitement, there was a sense of hope and renewal in the air. As the wedding day approached, Mark's father made arrangements for me to attend a prestigious school, ensuring that I received the best education possible. It was a fresh start, a chance to leave behind the hardships of the past and embrace a brighter future. As the wedding preparations continued, my father, hearing of my mum's impending marriage, suddenly reappeared in our lives. His sudden reappearance was met with a mix of emotions: surprise, confusion, and even a glimmer of hope. He explained to my mum that his own marriage had crumbled, his wife having left him for a wealthier man. With a sense of regret and longing, he expressed a desire to reconcile and mend our fractured family. Yet, despite his pleas and promises of change, it was too late. The wounds of his past actions still fresh, my mum had moved on, finding solace and companionship in Mark's father. Though I couldn't help but feel bad for my father, I knew that my mum had found happiness and stability in her newfound love. This is the end of my story.